Okay. I want to start with a moment that kind of went viral back in 2021. It was New Year's Day. We were all in peak lockdown.
Hmm.
And Wang Wenbin, the Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesperson, he releases this video greeting. You've probably seen the clip.
Oh, I'm sure most people have.
He looks straight into the camera and wishes the world a Happy New Year in 36 different languages.
With no notes.
No notes, no hesitation at all. From Russian to Swahili to English.
It was a real tour de force of memorization, and on the surface, it just looks like this ultimate gesture of, cosmopolitan friendliness.
Right, that was the reaction I saw everywhere. Wow, how inclusive. But we're looking at a paper today by Claire Cramsch, who is, she's basically royalty in applied linguistics, and she didn't see friendliness.
Yeah.
She found the whole thing unsettling. And honestly, once you read her analysis of it, you can't unsee the power dynamic that's going on there.
It creates a very specific frame. You have 36 languages just rattled off as a list.
Yeah, they're flattened.
They're flattened. They become these equivalent items on a menu, all presented by a speaker whose native language, Mandarin, is never even spoken.
But it's clearly the center of gravity.
It is the unspoken center. The context is everything. The framing language is English, the global lingua franca, but the power is Chinese.
And Cramsch uses this term that I just found fascinating. She says watching it made her feel provincialized.
And that's such a crucial concept for this whole discussion. To be provincialized is that jarring realization that your own native tongue, the language that holds your history, your whole worldview,
Sure.
is just a code to someone else. It's just option 14 on some drop-down menu. It strips the language of its culture.
It turns it into a commodity.
Exactly.
And that commodification, that's really the launch pad for today's deep dive.
Mm.
We're looking at a stack of research from Cramsch, from Melina Porto in Argentina, Jose Manuel Vez in Europe, and they all argue that we have fundamentally broken language education.
Mm.
We're still teaching French or Spanish like it's a list of vocabulary words to memorize, like Wang Wenbin did when the whole world has changed.
We're running on an outdated operating system. The argument across all of these texts is that we need to move from just learning the code to something they call intercultural citizenship.
Okay, so before we get to the solution, we have to really dig into the problem. Cramsch argues the pandemic didn't just force us onto Zoom, it created a linguistic emergency. Now that sounds dramatic. We usually save emergency for, climate change or something. What is a linguistic emergency?
It sounds a little hyperbolic, but she's talking about a rupture in how we make meaning. In the old world, the world our textbooks were written for, there was a pretty stable relationship between a word and a thing.
Right.
You look up wall in a dictionary, an English-German one, you find Mauer. A wall is a brick structure. Simple.
But in the last decade, and especially accelerated by the pandemic, that stability just collapsed.
Completely. Think about the semiotics of it. The signifier, the word wall, has detached from the physical thing it's supposed to signify.
Okay.
If you say the Berlin Wall, you're invoking the Cold War, separation, communism. If you heard build the wall
Yeah.
during the Trump era, you're invoking immigration, nationalism, exclusion. Totally different things. If I just teach a student that Mauer means brick structure, I'm technically correct, but I'm leaving them totally illiterate in the actual discourse of the culture.
And this is where the tech side makes it even more complicated, right?
Yeah.
We all assume that because we have Google Translate or DeepL, communication is basically solved.
Right.
I type, I want a beer. My phone says it in Japanese. I get a beer. Problem solved. Efficiency.
But that efficiency is the enemy of understanding. This is the paradox Cramsch points out. These algorithms are designed for mobilization, getting things done, moving data.
Getting the beer.
Getting the beer.
Yeah.
They are not designed for representation, for understanding how another person actually sees the world.
It removes the friction. And in learning, the friction is usually where the magic happens.
In cognitive science, we talk about defamiliarization. To truly get a foreign culture, you have to run into something that just doesn't fit your model of the world. You need that moment of, wait, that's weird. Why do they say it like that? That little confusion is what forces your brain to reorganize its whole understanding of reality.
And if an app just smooths that over instantly, you never get that wait, that's weird moment. You just kind of project your own reality onto them.
You stay in your bubble. You become a tourist in your own life. And this brings us to what Cramsch calls the Zoom effect. When all language classes moved to Zoom, we all became talking heads.